Matthew Alt, the THCB Quick Bite. This is Roy Schoenberg. He is the founder and CEO of AmWell, which I just called American Well, which it hasn't been called for, which shows that I've known you too long, Roy.
We remember where we came from. That's a good thing.
That's it. All right. So it has been a journey, right? So you guys started 2007, 2008. You were at Health 2.0. I go back to 2009 and 10 in Hawaii, and a lot of changes since then. So let's talk about the company change. Last couple of years, you've put a lot of effort into changing your technology platform. You've acquired a couple of companies, Conversa, Silvercloud in mental health, and sort of AI chatbot answer space. What does the overall tech offering look like now?
I think the world has moved into the notion of a digital formulary, which is a big way of describing a new way of thinking about how we surround patients with technology. It isn't just video conferencing with clinicians on demand or scheduled. It's really about how can we be there for them when they live with their healthcare challenges, and that means also a long stretch of time when they're not in front of a clinician, when they're home and they have pain and they take or don't take medications or whatever it is. So the thinking around how we can, with the arrival of technology, be there for them and help them do the right health behaviors and do the right things morphed. And you talked about the acquisitions we made in Conversa and Silvercloud and others. It's just an indication to the fact that now that patients are comfortable getting healthcare through technology because the live interaction with clinicians on their phone, the door is open to interact with them and check up on them regularly, not necessarily with a clinician, and really rebalance the way we care for them. And that's kind of the indication of what I believe are things to come.
All right, so tell me a bit more about the rollout of the platform.
Which one of them? The Converge, the new one?
Yeah. Yes.
So, I just want to recognize, you mentioned the old years and so on. We've been running with our technology for, about 15 years, hopefully doing some convincing work around the validity of telehealth. You mentioned, from Hawaii to WellPoint and all these stories. But technology has to refresh itself, and the aspirations, especially after COVID, are not only much, much larger volumes, but an unbelievable expansion of what it should do. Clinicians have an opinion, payers have an opinion, health systems have an opinion, the government has an opinion, and that ask means that you need to re-architect the way you think about digital healthcare. We were lucky to have a great IPO. It gave us, liquidity that allowed us to make choices, and we made a choice to say, we're not going to patch the old system. We have to think about it from the ground up, and that's what we did. And thank God that we did that change, because now it is really out in the market and doing really well.
So, Roy, picking up on one of the things you said there, right? COVID, we saw this big increase in use, but a lot of it wasn't in systems like an American Well or telehealth. A lot of it was like on Zoom. You had new competitors like Doc70, DocCB, and people just doing phone calls, right? Yeah. All that kind of work. So, where do you think we are now, and what is the AmWell approach to thinking about how to manage sort of the crest and the wave and the come down in usage?
Yeah, so I think everybody's seen during COVID all the telehealth platforms, including FaceTime and everything else, skyrocketed, and then for most, once COVID was done, things opened up, patients had alternatives, it went down significantly. We've actually seen a very different reality on AmWell. We've actually seen the volumes of AmWell grow after COVID and continue to grow, to this day. And I think the reason for that isn't necessarily that our platform is better. I think it is, but it's the understanding that telehealth is not going to be just urgent care. Telehealth is going to be part of the way care is distributed, and that means it needs to factor itself into how cancer patients are being treated and how patients are discharged from a hospital system and how skilled nursing facilities are thinking about projecting skills and knowledge into facilities that don't have anybody at 4 o'clock in the morning. And of course, home is a whole other front. Probably one of the implications of this is that telehealth cannot be anymore a standalone transaction video conferencing system. It really has to be mindful of all of the rest of the workflow around a patient, of different patient types. It needs to fit in and get integrated really, really well into all of the systems we love to hate, whether they're EHRs or eligibility systems or whatever it is, and even labs and imagings and referrals and analytics and so on. But I think that was the investment that we needed to make with many hundreds of millions of dollars of, really very gray stuff that you do. It's not features and functions for consumer and patient. He just blends it into the rest of the ecosystem, and I think that gives us a staying power. More importantly, I think it allows our customers to innovate the way they think about digital care on our system, rather than wait for us to come up with all of the innovation, which is a shocking place to be after all the journey we've gone through. It's a humbling, point to be in, but we're very lucky to see all of that happening through our customers.
All right. So you mentioned there hundreds of millions of dollars spent. If you look at if you look at the numbers, there's been hundreds of millions of dollars going out more than coming in.
For sure.
For recent years. Public companies can't sustain that forever. What
right.
happens next to AmWell in the kind of on the financial markets, and where are you heading towards making good on this investment?
So this was, I don't want to call it by design, but I would say, clearly everybody would love the stock to be, much, much higher and everything else. But there is something to be said about by design. We've following the IPO, we made that decision that we need a whole different chassis for digital care. And we dove into essentially running two different software companies in parallel, one that handles all of our client base with our legacy platforms, and a whole other software company developing that system of the future, Converge. So that definitely gets a lot of money, getting draining from your coffers. The other thing is that we told everybody, we were very transparent about it. And the moment that you tell people there's going to be a new system, not many people want to buy the old system, and that's rightfully so. But we had to, because that was the honest thing to do with our customer base. And the last piece of the puzzle is that we said, healthcare is a family. It's a very, very close world. People know each other. That our obligation for the first, year or two after those technologies are available is to migrate our customer base. We owe them first before we go and run after new shiny logos and everything else. And that was what we did for the last year. And we migrated. We talked about it at the earnings call. The vast majority of our ecosystem migrated to Converge. NPS is in the sky. People thumbs up are in the sky. It's really delivering. But until we're done serving our customers, we're not running after new ones. Luckily, that part is materially over at this point, and we are able to actually begin to resume operation like a company with a technology that hopefully will serve us as long as the previous one did, which was 15 years. And we're already beginning to see how this technology brings very, very large customers that we were never able to cater for, like DHA and others that landed in AmWell recently. That's exactly where we wanted it to be. So we had to bite the bullet for a year and a half. Analysts, gave us what they needed to give us. They did their job in that sense, but we're extremely bullish about where we are.
Okay, so we're heading towards profitability, and I should be buying the stock, is what you're telling me.
I can't say anything about that, but in the last earnings call, we actually gave for the first time really direct line of sight to profitability and everything else. We were never in that position before.
Right. Fabulous. Roy Schoenberg, CEO of AmWell, thanks for your time.
Always a pleasure, Matthew.